What if I told you that right now you're making small, seemingly harmless mistakes that are slowly but surely draining away your masculinity? What if the very habits you thought were normal, maybe even healthy, were actually working against you, lowering your testosterone, diminishing your drive, and making you feel less like the powerful, confident man you were meant to be? This isn't just about looks, it's about energy, dominance, attraction, and even longevity. Some of these mistakes will shock you. Number 7, it's something almost every man is guilty of, and it's ruining you from the inside out. Stick with me, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to reclaim your masculinity before it's too late. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe. I'm here to give you science-backed, no-nonsense advice that will change your life. If you care about being the best version of yourself, you're going to want to stick around. All right, let's get started. Masculinity isn't just about having a deep voice, a strong jawline, or a muscular frame. It's a complex interplay of hormones, habits, and mindset. Testosterone is the driving force behind it all, but most men today are unknowingly sabotaging it every single day. And the worst part? Nobody is telling them. First, let's talk about what you eat. Did you know that certain foods are literally crushing your testosterone production? If you're loading up on processed carbs, seed oils, or excess soy, you might be destroying your own hormonal balance without realizing it. Take soy, for example. You've probably heard people argue back and forth about whether or not it affects testosterone. The truth? Studies show that high consumption of soy products can lead to increased estrogen levels in men. That's right, estrogen, the hormone responsible for fat gain, mood swings, and even a softer, less defined physique. Think about that next time you grab a soy latte or binge on processed snacks filled with soy lecithin. But it's not just about what you eat. It's also about what you're avoiding. Most men today are dangerously deficient in key nutrients like zinc, magnesium, and vitamin D, 3 of the most crucial elements for testosterone production. Zinc, for example, plays a direct role in keeping your T levels high. Without enough of it, your testosterone plummets, leading to fatigue, low libido, and even depression. The problem? Modern diets are sorely lacking in zinc-rich foods like red meat, shellfish, and nuts. And vitamin D? It's not just for bone health. It's actually a hormone that regulates testosterone. If you're not getting enough sunlight or supplementing, you're leaving gains on the table, literally. Now, let's talk about something you probably do every single day: sitting. Sitting for hours at a time isn't just bad for your back. It's killing your testosterone levels. Researchers have found that a sedentary lifestyle leads to weight gain, decreased blood flow, and suppressed testosterone production. If you work a desk job, this is especially important. The more you sit, the lower your T levels sink. And that's not even the worst part. Combine long hours of sitting with poor posture, rounded shoulders, hunched back, forward tilted head, and you're not just losing testosterone, you're physically appearing less dominant. Your body language is broadcasting weakness, making you less attractive, less authoritative, and even less confident in your own skin. Speaking of posture, let's talk about another mistake that's ruining your masculinity: lack of resistance training. If you're not lifting weights, you're missing out on one of the most powerful ways to naturally boost testosterone. Studies have repeatedly shown that compound movements, squats, deadlifts, bench presses, trigger massive testosterone surges. But here's the problem. Most men either avoid the gym or do the wrong kinds of workouts. Endless cardio? That's not helping you. In fact, excessive long-distance running has been linked to lower testosterone levels. Your body sees it as a sign that you're in survival mode, and it responds by reducing muscle-building hormones. The fix? Focus on strength training. Lift heavy. Use compound movements. Train like your masculinity depends on it, because it does. And now, let's talk about sleep. If you're not getting enough high-quality sleep, you are wrecking your testosterone. It's that simple. Just 1 week of sleep deprivation can lower your T levels by as much as 15%. And the worst part? Most men think they can push through it with caffeine and willpower, but testosterone is produced primarily during deep sleep. If you're cutting your sleep short, you're cutting your masculinity short, and it gets worse. Sleep deprivation doesn't just lower testosterone, it increases cortisol, the stress hormone that actively destroys your muscle mass and promotes fat storage. So if you're waking up tired, relying on coffee to survive the day, and wondering why you feel off, this might be the reason. But here's where things get truly shocking. Your phone might be stealing your masculinity. Yes, Really, the blue light from screens, phones, laptops, TVs, suppresses melatonin production, making it harder to fall into the deep sleep necessary for testosterone production. But it's not just the light, it's what you're consuming. Scrolling through social media, endlessly watching content, engaging in digital overstimulation, it's rewiring your brain, making you less disciplined, more anxious, and less likely to take action in the real world. And here's the worst part. Excessive screen use has been linked to lower dopamine sensitivity. What does that mean? It means your brain needs bigger and bigger dopamine hits just to feel motivated. The result? You lose drive. You lose ambition. You stop chasing excellence. Your masculinity fades. And we haven't even talked about stress yet. Chronic stress is one of the biggest testosterone killers, and most men are drowning in it. Work pressure, financial stress, relationship problems, all of it spikes cortisol, which, as we already covered, is a direct enemy of testosterone. But it doesn't just stop there. Chronic stress makes you irritable, weakens your immune system, and even reduces your ability to focus and make decisions. If you're constantly anxious, constantly overwhelmed, and constantly on edge, you're operating in survival mode. And survival mode is the opposite of thriving masculinity. The solution? You have to take control of your habits. You have to recognize these mistakes, fix them, and start prioritizing your testosterone like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. You can't afford to be passive. You can't afford to keep making these silent mistakes. Because every day you do, you're losing more of what makes you a man. And that's only the beginning. Now that we've covered the mistakes draining your masculinity, it's time to take back control. If you've ever felt tired for no reason, struggled with low energy, or wondered why you're not as sharp, strong, or confident as you used to be, fixing these habits is the key. Because here's the truth. Most men today are walking around at a fraction of their potential, and they don't even realize it. Let's start with one of the biggest hidden threats: alcohol. You already know that drinking too much isn't great for you, but what if I told you that even moderate drinking could be quietly lowering your testosterone? Research has shown that alcohol disrupts testosterone production by interfering with the testes' ability to make it. Not only that, but alcohol also increases estrogen levels. Yes, estrogen, the same hormone that leads to fat gain, mood swings, and even the dreaded man boobs. And here's where it gets worse. Alcohol increases cortisol, the stress hormone that actively breaks down muscle tissue and promotes fat storage. Ever notice how heavy drinkers often carry more belly fat? That's cortisol at work. So if you're serious about reclaiming your masculinity, cutting back on alcohol, or eliminating it altogether might be one of the most powerful changes you can make. And speaking of powerful changes, we need to talk about your environment. Right now, you are being exposed to chemicals that are actively feminizing you, and you probably don't even know it. These are called endocrine disruptors, and they are everywhere. In your food, in your water, in your personal care products. One of the biggest offenders? Plastics. Specifically, BPA and phthalates, chemicals found in plastic bottles, food containers, and even receipts. These chemicals mimic estrogen in the body, leading to hormonal imbalances, lower testosterone, and even fertility problems. Think about that. Your testosterone is under attack every time you drink from a plastic bottle. The solution? Switch to glass or stainless steel for drinking water. Avoid microwaving food in plastic. Read labels and choose personal care products that are free from harmful chemicals. But it doesn't stop at plastic. Another major problem? Seed oils. If you're eating processed foods, fast food, or even so-called healthy vegetable oils, you're consuming highly inflammatory, testosterone-lowering fats. Oils like soybean, canola, and sunflower are loaded with omega-6 fatty acids, which throw off your body's natural balance and create chronic inflammation. And here's why that's a problem. Chronic inflammation has been directly linked to lower testosterone levels. Your body sees inflammation as a threat, so it prioritizes survival over reproduction. That means less testosterone, less muscle, less energy. The fix? Switch to healthier fats like olive oil, coconut oil, and animal fats. These support hormone production and keep inflammation in check. Now, let's talk about something most men overlook: social connection. You might not think this has anything to do with masculinity, but it does. Strong social bonds, whether with friends, mentors, or like-minded men, play a huge role in maintaining high testosterone levels. Studies show that men who are part of strong social groups have higher testosterone than those who isolate themselves. Why? Because human connection, competition, and camaraderie all trigger a natural testosterone boost. When you're around other driven men, your body responds by elevating your testosterone to match the energy of the group. That's why team sports, brotherhood, and leadership roles have always been associated with masculinity. So if you've been isolating yourself, it's time to change that. Join a men's group, start training with friends, put yourself in situations where you're surrounded by other strong men who push you to be better. And that brings us to confidence. Nothing is more attractive, more powerful, and more masculine than true confidence. But here's the problem. Most men today have been conditioned to be passive. They hesitate. They overthink. They seek validation instead of leading. And this hesitation, this self-doubt, sends a direct signal to your body. You are not in control. And when your body senses that you're not in control, it lowers testosterone. It's a survival mechanism. High testosterone men take action. They make decisions. They take risks. And when you don't, your body assumes you are weak, submissive, and unfit for leadership. The solution? Train yourself to take action without hesitation. Speak up in conversations. Make decisions quickly. Challenge yourself to do things that scare you. Every time you act decisively, you reinforce your masculinity. But let's take this even further, because confidence isn't just about how you act. It's also about how you carry yourself. Your posture, your voice, your eye contact, these all send powerful signals about your masculinity. Slouching, avoiding eye contact, speaking softly, these are submissive behaviors. They tell the world, and your own brain, that you are not dominant. The fix? Stand tall, make eye contact, speak with a strong, steady voice. These aren't just surface-level tricks. They actually rewire your brain to produce more testosterone. Now, let's talk about purpose. This is something that separates high testosterone men from everyone else. Men who have a strong sense of purpose, whether it's a career, a mission, or a personal challenge, naturally have higher testosterone. Why? Because purpose fuels drive. It gives your brain a reason to keep pushing forward. When you lack purpose, you drift, you become passive, and passivity is the enemy of masculinity. If you wake up without a clear goal, without something you're working toward, you are setting yourself up for failure. The solution? Find something that excites you, that challenges you. It doesn't have to be massive. It just has to be meaningful to you. Start a business, master a skill, set a fitness goal. Find something that forces you to grow, to improve, to compete, because the moment you stop growing, you start declining. And finally, let's talk about one of the most damaging mistakes of all: addiction to instant gratification. This is killing more men than anything else today. We live in a world where everything is at our fingertips: junk food, social media, adult content, video games. And while none of these things are inherently bad, they become dangerous when they replace real-world challenges. When you get your dopamine from quick hits instead of real achievements, your brain stops seeking progress. You become comfortable, lazy, weak. And weak men do not have high testosterone. They do not command respect. They do not build legacies. The solution? Delay gratification. Rewire your brain to seek reward from real-world effort. Quit mindless scrolling. Cut back on the easy dopamine hits. Replace them with challenges that push you forward. Because here's the truth: masculinity isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Every day, with every choice you make, you are either strengthening it or weakening it. You are either stepping into your full potential or you are letting it slip away. So now, the choice is yours. Will you keep making these silent mistakes, letting your masculinity fade? Or will you take action, reclaim your power, and become the man you were meant to be? The answer is in your hands. Do you feel weaker, less confident, and like your energy is slipping away? This isn't just getting older. It's your body screaming for help. Low testosterone and poor hormonal health can drain your strength, destroy your confidence, and even harm your relationships. But here's the truth: you don't have to accept this. There's a proven way to restore your energy, drive, and performance. Don't wait until it's too late. Check the pinned comment now and take your life back. And if you want more life-changing insights like this, make sure to watch the next video on screen right now. You don't want to miss it.